everyone for the kind words. And I hear you, Clint. You know, when it comes to something like PTSD, it's always get over it. Just get over it. And in the case of Master Sergeant Miranda, there are very few circumstances where we would ever be in the same area together whatsoever. So Clint does have a point of, I can't keep having myself feel in any way frightened of that happening again because of her. But like I said, it was a year ago that a woman sexually assaulted me on the Long Beach bus. And then just 1 week ago, I had women harassing me by ringing my doorbell and banging on my door. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So here I am. I've come back on to tell people that I do take what you're saying seriously, and I don't like hurting myself. I don't like hurting myself to get myself out of PTSD flashbacks. I don't like it at all. And I appreciate you, Clint, I really do. And yes, I really do need to find a space where I can rest and recover, and that is not in LA. I have to build that space somewhere, and that takes money. I'd love to live in a world where money didn't matter. It does in this regard. I need a house. I need a house of my own. I need some time away from everything to be one-on-one with my doctor. And I'd love to be able to actually go to a shaman or a medical spa or something like that, where I can work on these issues that I have and learn to walk the street again, because I'm so traumatized because of my PTSD that I run into traffic to get away from women. That's not healthy. But even going to a medical treatment facility for PTSD, that costs money. And quite frankly, I'd rather not spend my disability benefits on a retreat to work on these issues, but I would rather be a person who found a way to live with women again. And if my way of living with women is we're just gonna have to be further apart when we speak to one another, then maybe that's the new normal. But that's what I need. I need to live in a way that makes sense, because the world ended in 2018 when I was sexually abused by Master Sergeant Miranda. The world ended. Everything that happened after that is a disaster. I'm walking through the apocalypse of my own life. Joplin, I hate to say this, but you're going to enjoy a little time out. That's all. Bro, motion, I would never. As depressed as I am, as angry as I am also very pretty, and there is no way I would ever harm myself to that extent. I seem to be harming myself, and I don't like that. But I'm never going to harm myself to that way, to that level. So no. No thank you. No thank you. If anything did happen, it's because the American government are fucking cowards who sexually abused me and then decided to do something above and beyond. But like I said, this is for the United Nations to discuss. And every time that I bring up the United Nations has to perk up their little ears in Geneva and say, yeah, we need to investigate what America is doing, because if they're committing human rights atrocities and war crimes, they should be judged like any other country. See a doctor. I should see a doctor. I should see a doctor about my burned hands, that's for sure. I like having fingers and they're a little numb. So definitely should see a doctor. They're a different color. And wow, that's a weird mark. Great. So I end up disfiguring myself. This is why I'm upset, because this whole idea of, if you wait 10 years, they just give up and they give you your money. But what the fuck have you been going through for those 10 years? Is it even worth it? If I burn my hand to the point where I can't touch anything or feel anything, is that worth the money? I hate it here. I absolutely hate it here. And I hate it here because I know that I'm a good, decent person. Josh, that is a fair question. I'm going to address that question in the open and honest way that I am, because that's who I am as a person. If you in any way try to upset me right now, I will ban you from my channel. Did you transition because you were abused in the service? Yes. Before the service, I was a skateboard Cali kid without being from California. I had long blonde hair and I was a bodybuilder. I was a model. I was enjoying myself. I was a dancer. But I said, fuck all that. I want to be an American airman because I want to go into space. I want to be an engineer. I want to be part of a space program that actually does something. And they sexually abused me after injuring me. So there goes that dream. Jelly Moss, did you always dislike women because of what happened? Sorry if that upsets you. I don't mind reading that and I don't mind speaking about it because I hate that I'm in the position that I am. I hate that I'm in this position that I have to see women as my enemies instead of my greatest allies. I cannot say enough how it disappoints me that because of the Air Force sexually abusing me, I don't have female friends anymore. I don't have girlfriends. I can't be in the same room as a woman because of it. I'm missing out on talking to clever, intelligent, and mostly grounded people. Dudes are messes. Men are fucking messes. They are needy little bastards. Women, on the other hand, At least all the women that I've ever had in my life have always been put together, just wonderful, insightful people that you want to have around. But because I've been sexually abused by women, I don't let women in anymore, because the more I say I can forgive and move on, the more they prove to be predators. My whole entire time here in Los Angeles, I've been preyed upon by women. I've been preyed upon by women who want to grope me on buses and sexually assault me. I've been preyed upon by VA employees who, in the middle of trying to get a cell phone, told me, you're very handsome. You should go into acting. Have you considered going into acting? No, thank you. No, thank you. So, yeah. And then the constant fear of having women break into my apartment, it doesn't make me run with open arms toward women. At least in Texas, as I said, women and I were almost at a stalemate of, you know I'm disabled, you know that I'm abused. You're gonna keep to your side, I'm gonna keep to my side. And if we have to talk to each other, we talk to each other. But for the most part, you can pick up the fact that I really cannot be around you. But you're not gonna push. And you're gonna recognize that without even saying anything, you need to give me my space. But I come to California and it's the opposite. Something about California has been shoving women on me. I find that gross, because if you're doing that, then you know that I'm disabled. You know that I've been abused, and you do that anyway because you want to be hurtful. Not all women are like that. I want to believe that too. I want to believe that. But I have to ride the bus line. I'm not going to say which bus line it is. I've said it several times. But I've called it the grope me bus. Because when I'm on the bus, people try to grope me. It's happened that often. I've documented it. I've sent it to LA Metro. They don't care. They don't care. There are not enough ride-alongs. The police never seem to get involved. And the only thing that I could do was say, well, fuck it. I'll just never go out. I live in Los Angeles, okay? It's not like I live in Des Moines, where, you know, there's the corner store and the liquor store, and you got to choose between the two of them. No, I live in LA. There's always a concert to go to. There's always a movie premiere to go to. There's the beach. There's a real beach right there. There's always something going on, and I can't enjoy any of it. Because if I try to go outside, I have that video, which I have on my channel, of women running up to me and bothering me. Jelly Moss, I have to be honest, I've seen women hit on men that didn't want to be hit on, even when men say no. There's a difference between feeling a vibe and just being rude about it. I like that on X when I get on, and I love to do it because it just proves how hacked the system is. That anytime I even have a male image, it says even they were weirded out. Like, I don't know who's been doing it, but keep on doing it, because, you know, men have to stand up for themselves. Men have to stand up and say, hey, if I'm a celebrity, or even if I'm not a celebrity, if I said no to you, then that meant no. It didn't mean I'll change my mind. It didn't mean anything. It just means no. Go outside now and walk on the street right now. You don't have to. Motion, I would love to help you with that, but YouTube has become a game of Simon Says, and don't think I haven't noticed, where I do fan requests and I listen to my fans and I listen to people on YouTube, and no. The reason why I don't do stuff like that is because, number one, I understand what neurolinguistic programming is, and that there are definitely speakers and technology being used within this space in order to subliminally program me. And then there's also the fact that there's a woman with a megaphone outside, and yeah, I don't need a woman with a megaphone in my ear. If you say no, then they get offended. I'm a woman, that's sad. Jelly, then you know what I'm talking about. It's a fine line, because you never know until you try. You never know. There are supermodels just waiting for any guy to say hello or can I buy you a drink. Why? Because, they go on a go-see and, they don't get picked, or, they really thought that they were going to get that ad campaign and they chose someone else. And they're looking for someone to just tell them they're beautiful. Walk up to them and say, "You are gorgeous." And, of course they respond, "I must be gorgeous," which is the song that I have out right now. But then there's some times when they just want to say, "No, nobody should talk to me right now. If you see me drinking alone, I'm drinking alone." And I'm okay with that. What do I want after everything works out, if it does? What I want is the ability to take a moment for myself. I've described what happened to me. I was sexually abused. No, I have to go further back. I had my legs injured in the military. Then I was sexually abused after I told them to let me go home. And then when I finally got home, I was a sexually abused veteran now who had to go to my mother's funeral within days. And then after that, I had to leave my house because my family couldn't deal with the burden of a veteran who couldn't work, couldn't contribute to anything, and bills were piling up. And, I'm just this loser who cries all the time, and then cries because my mother's dead, and then cries some more because I'm sexually abused, and my own sister tries to hug me or hold my hand, and I scream at her because it's a woman touching me, and I don't want to be touched. 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 I don't want to be touched by anyone. I don't want to be touched by anyone. And she can't understand why. She can't understand why. I'm your family member. I've known you for years. I changed your diaper once and then said never again. And let your parents do it for not the rest of your life. Oh my God. For the rest of until you were fucking potty trained, whatever. I'm your fucking family. There's no reason for you to treat me this way. And I can't explain to her fully what it means to be sexually abused and sent to the hospital after being sexually abused. I can't explain that to her because she didn't experience that. She doesn't understand the terror of that whole experience to me. where you have someone who outranks you demanding a sexual act of you, and then you turn to a man next to you who up until that point you were talking to, maybe not as a friend, but just as a fellow human being, and they stand at attention when you say go for help and ignore you, pretend you don't exist. I haven't had a moment's peace. I haven't had a moment to myself. I've been going from PTSD trigger to PTSD trigger to PTSD trigger. It doesn't stop. It doesn't end. There's no space to just breathe. Breathe. Jelly, I want to believe that my sister understands, and she does understand in her own way, but she can also take care of me. She can't take care of me. She's got to take care of herself, and I want my sister to take care of herself, which is why when she tries to reach out, I don't even try to respond, because I want my sister to take care of herself. I want my sister to turn to her friends to take care of her in her times of need, because I am ill-equipped. I have PTSD. I can't help anyone. I can barely help myself. But that doesn't stop me from trying. So when I speak about change.org/Kentucky Needs You, those are people who need help. And you think that you can't make a difference in their lives because they're dealing with water contamination because of environmental erosion that the Senate Bill 89 could lead to, but you can make a difference. If you sign that petition, you can tell the Kentucky state legislature, no, these are American citizens. We protect their human right to have access to clean water. And we also send them some fresh water so that they can continue to live their lives with independence and be able to trust that they made the right decision to live outside of cities. JP, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to be abusive to a sexual abuse victim, then you're a bad person. You are a bad person. There's been a lot of hate in the chat lately. That's not okay. I shouldn't depend on my moderators to handle it. YouTube is a terrible place sometimes, and sometimes it's a wonderful place. When I'm singing and dancing and having a happy day, you know, usually the chat is good, but when I'm talking about being abused as an American citizen, as a human being, and you still choose to be a piece of shit, I'm gonna walk with my head held high. The reason why I even do this podcast is because as traumatized as I am, there are several veterans who never speak about their trauma, never share their pain. They just shove it in a corner and explode one day. Hurt themselves and give up the fight. For every silenced veteran who suffered military sexual trauma, I'm going to speak. I'm going to continue to speak. I'm going to continue to speak through all of the haters that come into this chat, through all the trolls, through all of it. And Clint, I appreciate you 100%. I appreciate you. I need my disability benefits, and this country owes me. This is why I say America owes $72 billion to 18 million estimated veterans. That's $4,000 a month, not including back pay, not including special circumstances, not including dependents. Why? Because you signed on to the military to be a hero. And instead of allowing you to be a hero, America sexually assaults and rapes and then promotes the attackers. They promoted Airman Rose to a brand new job. He was in limbo for a while, but thanks to passing this test of, your true allegiance, your true cruelty, he got the job of his dreams: explosive ordnance removal. Good luck to you, Airman Rose. There was no reason for me to be treated that way by the American government. If the American government didn't want me in the armed services anymore, they already ruined my legs, they could have just sent me home. But no, they kept me there specifically to set up a promotional event for Airman Rose. They set me up so that they could injure my legs to keep the other airmen in line. That's your country. That's America. The name of the person who sexually abused me in the military is Master Sergeant Miranda. I don't have her first name. Because she outranked me, I never asked her what her first name is. Because believe me, I would say her first name on camera. And I have every right to fill out a Freedom of Information letter and say, what is your first name, middle name, and where you fucking living? Because I have to send you a subpoena because you have missed court with me 3 times. I have a lawsuit against you, Master Sergeant Miranda. And the government has been dancing around this because they know that I am poor and I can't afford a civil servant to go process all of my subpoenas. Because I subpoenaed President Biden as well. Either way, I want justice. I want true justice for Americans. Because it isn't just me. This sexual abuse didn't happen to me alone. It continues to happen to servicemen today. Right now, there's a serviceman who is afraid to come forward because they've just been raped. Right now. That's the country we live in, and no one says anything. No one says anything. Oh, this was Lackland Air Force Base. Master Sergeant Miranda of Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. I deserve better. I deserve better from this country. So within like 72 hours, I have to make that decision. Do I continue to live in Los Angeles as I know I'm being tortured? Or do I move to a new country and tell them I need to seek refugee status? Was she black? No, she was tan, but definitely a white girl. Which is the only saving grace that the nurse practitioner that I saw as a CNP examiner had, was that she was a black woman. I like to say that I'm informed, Jelly. I'm not that informed. There's a darkness in the military that has to be shoved into the light. There's a darkness there. And I like Clint, and I like his Knights of the Holy Rose and everything, but I'm well aware that it's all within a system of control and manipulation. And I like Clint, I really do. I hope he can help as many people as possible. But I'm on YouTube right now and I can feel it. I can just feel a system of manipulation and control. Lackland Air Force Base. I think the only way to spell it is phonetically. So Lackland Air Force Base. I have to define you the name. Fort Worth. You see that upsets me, Jelly. That upsets me because there is no need for that. If you were a person from the military, if you ever need sex, there are people lining up around the block to have sex with you. Without coercion, without manipulation. Because you served, because you're a hero, they are willing to just, that's all they need. I'm a sailor, I'm a soldier, I'm a Marine. If you say you're a Marine to a woman or a man, they want to have sex with you. That's all you have to say. There's always someone willing to have sex with a Marine. Marines are really good in bed. But if you have all of that, and you have rank, Master Sergeant isn't the same exact thing as being a colonel. It's not the same exact thing as even, being a captain. But you climbed up all those ranks. You went through years of military service. And you abused someone who's already injured, you abuse someone in a hospital wing. What is wrong with you, Master Sergeant Miranda? Now, I can't face you in court, but I can face you online. Because I've tried to subpoena you and you don't show up. I sent the subpoena to the Air Force to give to you and you don't show up. Because I have to believe that what you did is an indicative of the entire Air Force. Because my base, the 105th Airlift Wing, even though Master Sergeant Ramon Jones was a jerk to me, he was doing his job. Within reason, he was doing his job. You are a criminal, Master Sergeant Miranda. You sexually abused me. That goes against the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You are a criminal and should receive military justice for what you did. That's the one. Yeah, I believe I saw her name on X. AC 469, we get it. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. I still have to live this life. I still have to keep going, even though I'm clearly being tortured and psychologically manipulated by everyone around me. The fact that my apartment is clearly being recorded, and not just because I invite the recordings in by doing a YouTube channel, says everything about the quality of honor of the United States. That either the United States government or a cult has become so prevalent in the state of California that they think it's okay to abuse an American veteran. Jelly, there's a lot of pain to go around. I don't want you to take on mine. My pain is vast. It is vast. It has swallowed me whole. It has eaten my family. It is eaten any friends that I might have made along the way. And I did make friends in Texas. I had a life in Texas. But my PTSD ate it all up. Don't take my pain on. Men have it very differently from women. I won't say better because it's just different. You don't like my outfit? I'm wearing a leather jacket and a leather harness. Yeah, the dangly earrings are kind of the wrong choice for this outfit, but I don't mind. And I also have my that, so, you know, whatever. I don't feel accepted here, and I'm never going to be accepted here. I belong in Canada. I guess it's a Scottish kilt, not a quilt. I wish I knew how to sew so I could actually make some clothes. I keep buying clothes from other people. I don't want to buy clothes. I want to make clothes. Honestly, I just want to have a life. And this isn't a life, you know. I have an apartment and I'm not even living in my apartment. This isn't living my apartment. I don't have friends over because I can't make friends here. I don't do anything. I don't even watch television anymore because I couldn't afford it. I wish I was able to fucking join the French Foreign Legion. Like, if they had at least let me do that, that would have been fun. Because they could have given me medical training. Canada is better in my opinion. I have a romanticized version of Canada. I really do. Because I have to say, the freezing cold must be worth something. Motion, I'm just going to tell you to let's take a break. I have talked about the incident and that person for a while. I'm going to take a break, okay? That's all. I speak French and I wouldn't join the French Legion. The only difference with the French Legion is you get French citizenship once you complete it. Can you imagine that? Not to mention Frenchmen are hot. Super fucking hot and super fit because they don't eat the fucking food in America. For that alone, I mean, you know, I'll do a couple push-ups for that. And push-ups and ups and ups and ups. Yeah, I do a couple of that. Okay, Turbo. Enjoy a timeout. Wow. That was the show for today. That was the podcast. I say show because I'm going to put on a fucking brave face and I'm going to keep making podcasts about military sexual trauma. I'm going to keep making podcasts about how America is devaluing humans by psychologically torturing them, by manipulating them, and by sexually assaulting them or raping them. I'm going to keep talking about this, every last bit of it. Every last bit of the manipulations that is going on right now. So I'll keep talking about it because Switzerland is going to make some decisions about what America's doing. And they might actually have to take into account cults in America that are targeting American citizens and torturing them. They may have to take that into account, that it's not the government, but a cult that's doing that. Thank you everyone for coming by. My name is XIlyana. I am an environmentalist. If you haven't already signed my petition, change.org/Kentucky needs you, please do. It's a lovely petition to help rural Americans maintain the safety of their fresh drinking water. Please sign that petition. That's change.org/Kentucky needs you. Thank you and good night.